Hello and a very good morning and a very good evening, depending on which neck of the woods you guys are in out there this morning. This is Cafe Clairvoyance and this is the Tuesday morning spiritual show. A very good morning to you. Hope you're well wherever you are and welcome. Cafe Clairvoyance is a live spiritual show that goes out 4 times a week. We do the Tuesday morning, which you do here, and we also do a Tuesday evening, which is at 8 o'clock in the evening time. We have the Wednesday morning show, which is the same time as this one, which is a spiritual astrology show. And on Fridays, we have the spiritual Friday night show, which is on at 8 o'clock in the evening. So a very, very, very good morning to you. Very good morning and welcome. And let's get the show started. Hello, very good morning to you. Lovely to see so many people on this morning. Good morning, Delia. Good morning, Suzanne. And good morning. Oh, good morning, Cheryl. Good morning, Cheryl. And Maria, a very good morning to you too. Now, this morning, I have a very special guest on the show. Oh, can't wait. It should be all good fun. And during the show, we're going to be having a little chat about what my special guest is doing and what it's all about. Now, just below here is a little bit of a giveaway of what her name is. It's Raven Cooper. She'll be joining me very shortly. And also we'll be discussing all things spiritual, her gifts, where it's come from, and then a little bit later in the show, we might encourage you to join us for some live readings. How's that? Like the idea of that? In the meantime, whilst joining the show, guys, this is what we'd like.
What is it?
That's right, a little bit late on the camera then. Anyway, guys, so a very good morning to you. We're live on 2 Facebook channels. We're also live on YouTube, which is Cafe Clairvoyance as well. And all these shows here for all about entertainment, all about bringing a bit of liveliness into your lives. And if you're in lockdown somewhere, if you're having a day off, or if you're just wandering around what to do, perhaps in the evening you want to just put up your feet and smoke your pipe and wear your slippers, or smoke your slippers and wear your pipe, whichever you like to go do. There's a bit of humour going on in the background there. Yeah, probably doing that. Anyway, so let's we got loads of you coming on this morning. It's lovely to see you. So we've got the show here is run by myself, Phil Griggs, your host, and also by Deborah, my wife, who's the producer. She is the one who's interacting right now. As she says hello, Delia, and Delia is responding back by saying hi. See, it's so easy. Interaction is just so much fun, isn't it? Anyway, Delia says, I'm excited. Okay, good morning. And Lisa says, good morning. Good morning to everyone. This is a bit of a clue when everybody says good morning, because we know which side of the world you're coming through on. So hopefully some of you guys are going to be coming in from the far side of the world. Yes, Delia is over the far side of the world. Anyway, there we go. So without further ado, I think really it's about time I introduced my very special guest this morning. Really excited. She's super enthusiastic. She's super lovely, but she's Australian. Sorry. Anyway, so I know I'm going to get some stick with this. I know I am. But here we go. So I'm going to find out if she's nearby. I'm just going to see if she's wherever she is. Ah, there she is. Ah, come on board. Hello, good morning, Raven. How are you?
Good evening, good morning. I'm well, thank you. What a surprise.
Yes, it's a lovely surprise. Welcome to Cafe Clairvoyance, and thank you for joining us. And I know we've been talking for a while, about a couple of weeks or so, preparing this. And but it's been absolutely fabulous experience talking with you and chatting with you, and now coming up to the time we can actually bring you live on the show. So
I
fantastic.
know, it's exciting.
Good, good, good. So, you guys out there, very good morning, good evening to you guys. Please let us know where you're coming in from, whether you're from Spain, the UK, the Netherlands, America, or even Australia. That'd be fabulous. Okay.
Even Australia.
Even Australia, even Australia. Okay, we got Delia wants to say hello to you. She says, "Hey, Raves, hey, Raves."
Right.
That's obviously a
Right. Yeah.
nickname going on there. Brilliant. Okay.
Not one that I know of, but sure.
Now one that's just been invented for you. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant.
Nice.
Good. Okay, so Raven, tell us a little bit about yourself. Whereabouts in Australia are you?
So I'm in Brisbane, in Queensland. So it's quite warm here at the moment. It's quite hot. We're getting that humidity and we're getting those afternoon storms, which is quite nice.
Oh, okay, okay. The afternoon
Well,
storms.
storms do, they clear the air, don't they?
Yeah. Yes, I'd imagine it does get a bit tropical out there. I imagine in that sort of summer
Maybe
heat. Yeah, we're sort of going into coming into our winter time. It's about it's nice during the day. It's about 20 degrees during the day, and then minus 30 at night.
Yeah, it's about 106 here and about 110% humidity. So it's fantastic, but I'm talking in degrees. I'm not sure if that's what you talking
Yeah.
on
No,
the.
I was actually talking degrees. So it's about 20 degrees, which is 106 Fahrenheit. That's
Um,
hot. That's hot. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, so spiritual mediumship, tarot, clairvoyance. What's your gifts? Where would you like to work in?
I think gifts is an interesting word. It's not one that I would use often or use to describe myself. I don't think or believe that I'm gifted. I think that I'm very lucky that I get to use my intuitive muscles every day. I think intuition is a bit like going to the gym. You know, if you don't use those muscles, they don't strengthen. So I'm lucky I get to do it every day and get to see beautiful clients. I would probably call myself an intuitive consultant, not really just as a reader, because I consult across lots of different things, whether it be life or business, home, whatever it is that you're looking at and you're needing direction in. That tends to be what I use my intuition with.
Okay.
And been reading since I was about 19. So without giving away too much, that's just over 20 years now. So it's something that I really do enjoy.
Fantastic.
It comes with
Fantastic.
responsibility, though. I think, don't you agree, Phil? It's a responsibility, not
Yes.
just a gift.
Oh,
I think
absolutely.
when you're reading for people and they're coming to you, and let's be honest, most people don't go for readings when they know where they're going and when life's perfect. They're coming to us when they're looking for direction and things aren't great.
That's right.
So I think there's a lot of responsibility there. So I think when people are sort of saying, hey, you know, I want to become a reader or I'd love to be doing what you do, I sort of remind them that, hey, it comes with a lot of responsibility. People are listening to every word that we say and taking it very seriously,
Spot
as
on.
they
I
should.
totally
And
agree with you. Totally agree with you.
um,
Yes.
so I think intuition is their natural intuition. Absolutely. I think there are those of us that are just born with those muscles that are a little bit stronger. But look at someone like Federer. Obviously, he has amazing sporting ability. Okay, he's a great tennis player, but if he didn't practice every day, he wouldn't be as brilliant as he is. He
Very
too would
true.
become. So I think that's something when people are looking at increasing their intuition or starting to trust that gut instinct, that they need to be making sure that they're doing it on a regular basis.
Yes, I
I
can
know
understand
I
that. Yes.
didn't read for 12 months. I would probably be a little bit rusty getting back into it. I think intuition is a very unique thing as well. I think every single person's intuition is different. You may say, and excuse me if I'm wrong, but you might say, call yourself a clairvoyant, and I might call myself a clairvoyant. However, how you see things, what your flashcards are, what your pictures are, how it comes to you in your mind being very different to how it comes to maybe me, but the same word. So I think everyone is born with one intuitive muscle that's a little bit stronger. So some people are clairvoyant, some people are clairsentient, you know, whether it's clear audio. So you have that one. For me, it was clairsentient. So that was kind of, I just felt things. If I was sitting next to someone, I'd be like, oh, you know, my knee's hurting. And I'd be like, oh, is your knee hurting? Or, you know, how are you feeling about this? Or It was more about feeling how they were feeling. And then as I worked with that muscle more, then it became being able to, see those movies kind of play out in my third eye, see the words, maybe hear things. All those others caught up. It was just a case of just trusting those first ones. But definitely, yes, consistency being the key.
Yes, this is key. This is what Susanna Flower says. Yes, and it is a consistency.
Yeah.
And Susanna, I know that she's a wonderful lady. She's got many gifts and she works with the spirit world. Is this something that you felt that you were born with, or did it come to you later on in life?
It's quite an interesting question and one I get asked often. I just thought everybody did this. So I didn't go along going, oh, I'm different to everybody else, or I just figured everyone did it and no one really talked about it. I grew up in a house where I have two brothers that are 9 and 10 years older than me. So obviously they'd sort of moved on in life as I was growing up. So sort of grew up by myself a lot of the time. And I just thought, these people that you chatted to and these thoughts that you had and knowing what someone was thinking or what was going on with them, we all just did it. And I guess it wasn't really shut down for me as a kid because I didn't talk about it too much. No one could tell me it wasn't real. And I think that's the biggest mistake we make in society. We're sitting here telling our children, don't be ridiculous. Don't trust your gut instinct. What do you mean you're talking to your pretend friend? Or what do you mean you just know this is going to happen? And we dismiss it and we push it away. And then they shut that down and they no longer use that muscle.
Totally.
So I don't think I'm gifted, like I said, to anybody else. I just do it every day. And that takes time and consistency and practice, I guess. But I can't say that I practice anymore because, I go in and do my readings. But I think for me, I thought everybody else did what I do. And then, you realize as you get older, not everybody has the same open mind as we have to these things. I think generations are a bit different now, though. My kids are sort of growing up in a generation where they use words like energy and aura and, they love crystals and they love metaphysical things and they're really drawn to it and they've got access to it. They can Google anything. There are metaphysical shops around. You can go places and have readings or go to meditations or go to intuitive development. When I was a kid, the closest thing you had was the library, and that wasn't helpful for me. I'm quite dyslexic. I can't do alphabetical order. So going to the library, and those books didn't exist.
No,
because it just
no,
wasn't
they didn't really, did they? No, especially not in the children's section anyway.
No, not in the children's section. I wasn't allowed in the adult. So it's kind of like as you grow up, I guess we've got a better generation now because they have more available to them, but maybe a little less connected, and we have less and less human contact, which I think we struggle a little bit with on this level. But yeah, I think it's important that if you have a child that you think is intuitive, just don't crush it. And you don't have to try and figure it out straight away, and you don't have to try and, get them to the best teacher or get them the best advice. It's about just let them sit in it. Just let them be in it and figure out what it is, and for them not to be scared of it. I think we link anything metaphysical or psychic or intuitive to horror films and scary and Ouija boards and all that scary stuff. And it's like, actually, none of that's really scary anyway, nor is it some of it real. So I think, for me, I was just very lucky. I sort of grew up as an only child. And with that meant that my imagination didn't really get shut down because remembering didn't have iPads, didn't have computers, didn't have iPhones. We had to stare at the window and, use our imagination. We had to draw on chalk on cement and create things. I think we used our third eye more as kids. And that kind of, I think helps.
That's a valid point. I think that when we're young, we do have that intuition being very young, and as we grow older, we're conditioned to think this is not something that we could actually use or relate to. And really later, if we had that intuition later on in life, it would have such a big influence on our lives. It would be fantastic. Yes, I agree.
Our gut instinct was handed to us, the day we came onto this planet. We were given our fight or flight. And, we took about the base chakra with that one in particular. But with our fight or flight, it's our gut instinct. A deer doesn't go through the forest and go, oh, I think there's a lion over there. I'll go and check it out. It's instinctively will go, no, I'm going that way. A human's going to stand at the end of that alleyway and go, oh, it looks dark and I don't feel like I want to walk down it, but don't be silly. I'm just, spooking myself out, I'll walk down and something happens. And how many times, and I'm sure plenty of people in the audience tonight can go, how many times is their gut instinct right and they ignored it because why would they trust it? And that's how all the other animals and creatures on the planet survive, is instinct.
Yes.
And we're
Yes.
not trusting it anymore. We're not trusting it with our bodies. We're not trusting it with our minds. We're not trusting it with our feelings, our hearts. There's such a disconnection between head and hearts right now. It's so hard. And yes, we've had a pandemic and we're still all going through it globally. But to be honest, I think a lot of people were struggling prior to the pandemic as well, and kind of hitting some big life decisions and being forced to look at change. And this kind of just tipped us over the edge. For those of us that didn't want to listen, I think this helped sort things out a little bit more for us.
Well, the spiritual movement is one.
Or did I just babble? Because that's something I'm good at.
Good. Brilliant. Well, it's actually
Okay,
lovely to welcome you on the show this morning. And there's enough reference out there now that says that the spiritual movement is probably one of the biggest movements now growing. And I think more people are wanting to reconnect with themselves. It's interesting to say about the heart of the mind and the heart of the body, even the heart, mind, and body being out of sync and out of alignment. And I think people are realizing this and now wanting to bring this back in and to bring back a balance in life. Yes. Okay. So when you read, what do you do? How's your way of reading? Is this do you use astrology? Do you use numerology? What's your thing?
Probably a different couple of ways. I'm quite fond, if the person's with me, of a little bit of psychometry, which is holding a personal item and reading the energy from that.
Okay.
That was really so when I first, if we go all the way back many moons ago when I was 19, for me it was just sort of flash visions. I'd say to someone, this is coming up for you, or maybe you should watch for that, or there's a boy, or whatever. And then I thought, okay, I should probably take this a little bit more seriously and see what was going to happen. And the first group that I went to taught psychometry, so it was holding a personal item and giving a message. So that was kind of how I started reading at first. I was like, okay, well, I'll take a personal item and I'll work it that way. And then I had this crazy thought that if I didn't hold on to a fluorite crystal, I couldn't read, because there was all these rules and regulations that these much older than me readers were telling me. You have to do meditation for half an hour before every reading. You must hold this crystal. You must stand on your head and say this, this, and this. And none of it is true. Now, I know I might got a bit of flick for that, or a bit of flack, but my issue here is what works for you works. I don't need to do meditation before I start a reading. I'm able to sit down and just kind of click, and maybe you can do that too. We go, okay, I'm looking from here now. It's not me, it's them, and we kind of step out of our own worlds. I know when I come out of an hour's reading, I sort of go, oh yeah, what day is it? Where am I? What's going on? It's a bit like going in and watching a movie. You go into the cinemas and you watch this really good movie, and you walk out and you're like, oh, did it rain? Like you're so outside of your own life. So when I do a reading, I come out and kind of go, oh, that's right. I've got all these things in my world that I need to pay attention to. I normally start with the physical body. So I just sit there and go, okay, you know what? I'm drawn to, maybe they have problems with their kidneys, or maybe there's something going on with their shoulder, or maybe there's something else going on here.
You must be picking up on me already. I'm teasing.
You don't want to talk about it on this stage, do you feel?
Oh.
So I think with that's important to me. And then we just start looking at their life and where they are. Now, it's interesting when someone sits in front of me, everything on this side of them, so everything on their heart side is relationships, home, family, dreams, and all that emotional stuff.
Okay, slow that down. Slow that right down. That's really interesting. Slow that down so people can get this, because that is very, very interesting what you're saying. So everything on their right side, or your right side as you look at them.
On their left side, so the same side as their heart.
Right. Okay. So you look at. Okay. That's interesting. So everything you see there is about relationships, the heart, and emotions, things like this. That's very interesting, because I've never heard another psychic or spiritual person talk about that before. I think that's very, very interesting.
Hear the rest?
Sorry?
I said it gets a little better. Do you want to hear the rest?
Yeah. No, it's good. It's good. I just want to just slow that bit down so people can understand that, because that is very interesting what you see on the right. Yes. So what's on the left?
You'll have to excuse my airy self. I do speak a little fast, and travel through things quickly. So yes, when they're sitting in front of me, everything to their left, their heart side, is all relationships. Everything to the right hand side is homework, money, and security. Everything logical. All right. Anything behind them, so is, or above them, sort of behind their heads, is family, parents, anything to do with those kinds of things. So that's a little bit different. But I literally just have to look to that side, and I could go, okay, you work here. This is what you do. This is your position. And then I might go to this side and go, oh, you're married, and you know your husband's name is George, and he drives a Mini Cooper because they're cool cars.
You've obviously got one.
No, I want one.
Keep going, then you might get one.
Okay. You're going to send me one over.
This is interesting. This is a good question. Susanna says, not if you're left-handed. It's the predominant side. Okay. So for you, that's still the same. Okay. That's interesting.
Because it's the way I read, which is unique. And so for me, it's their heart side. Because I'm working with my intuition. And that's what I mean about everybody being slightly different. So for me, that's how it comes across, and it doesn't change.
Okay. So that says
it's not about your emotional side being them picking the cards with their emotional hands. It's just about how I perceive the
That's how you perceive it. That's understandable there. So Suzanne says, if your left hand is opposite and with healing. Yes, so sometimes if your right hand is often that your left hand is the healing hand, or if your left hand is sometimes your right hand is the healing hand. Very interesting. Very interesting chat this morning.
Your right elbow or your right earlobe, if it works.
Yes.
There's no rules in this. And I think that's what frustrates me in this industry. So many people give up and they walk away because they think they're broken, and they're not. Okay, no one is broken in this. It's about figuring out how you work. And that's what saddens me, because so many people go, I just can't do it. My intuition's broken. I can't use my third eye. And it's like, no, it's because you're comparing yourself to someone else and how they work.
Absolutely.
And you need to find where you sit and what you're comfortable with, because the people that are meant to be read, that you're meant to read for, are the ones that will turn up to you. The ones that you're meant to heal are the ones that will end up on your healing table. That's how it works. And for me, I think too many people, too many rules. You have to do the $1,500 course. You got to have the $3,000 crystal. You have to have all your chakras aligned. Your aura has to be perfect. Nah, no way. No, we're all human first and foremost, and everything else after that.
Very interesting. My special guest this morning is Raven Cooper, all the way from Brisbane in Australia. Lovely, lovely morning. We're discussing here, an evening over there. And today is Tuesday, where are we now? We're the 24th November, and this is the Tuesday Spiritual Show. So shortly we'll be doing spiritual work to keep you guys entertained there. So it's very interesting what you say there. I work with the aura, which is your colours that come out from the body there, and I was able to see the auras when I was quite young. And the way I normally see this here is, it's interesting because I see, when I look at the person, their left side is all about the past. And in the aura, I now see here like the family line, relationships and work and things like this. I also see their mental, their spiritual state and their mental state straight above them. And then to their right side, when I'm looking on their left, to their right side is all about the future and the trends and the tendencies, their outlook and what's come up in front of them. So it's interesting.
Kind of like where they've been, where they're at, and where they're going.
Yes, in a similar sort of thing like that. Yes. And the different colours and the different vibrations and the frequency that I pick up from the aura tells me what's going on around them, what's been the prominent thing or the prominent issues going on around them. And often, then I got spirits popping out of the aura who want to come through as well. So actually, you've got a fan here. You've got a fan. It's Delia. She says, your readings are amazing. So that's lovely. Yeah, let's give you a little round of applause. There you go. Okay, has Raven got time for me this morning? Oh, we'll see how we get on. We've got a few readings in front of us at the moment. We're just going to do a tiny little bit of this, and then we're going to be back. And I think we've got a few people who have already asked to join the show and join reading, so we'll be speaking to them in just a second. And let's do this.
No worries.
Right, okay, we're coming out to that point of time in the show where I'm going to look for a chap called Nigel. And Nigel wrote in here, who wrote in, and so guys, if you'd like to read this morning, you need to put a favourite colour, you need to put a question, and do that this morning. We take them as they come in line, so that's no one gets there. And no, we're not going to jump queues, things like that, just to read different people. So whoever comes through, we've already got a few readers beforehand, but let's have a look at this. So let's get those readings on the go. The cavalry's coming in somewhere. Okay, and the producer is running up and down. She's taking your messages right now.
Yes, nice and hard.
Oh, he's a fast mover, I tell you. Yes, there you are. They're coming in, your messages. Thank you very much. Wow. This is fantastic. Thank you. So, Nigel, first of all, here, you said here, now his question is, should I focus on work or will work come looking for me? That is really interesting here. Well, the first thing I'd like to say, Nigel, is that your numbers, from your date of birth here, very interesting. I love to work with numerology, and as I work with this, and also you've gone for the colour green. Colour green I like on this. I sense here, first of all, in fact, let's get into business here. The colour green, first of all, tells me here that you're in a process of trying to make new beginnings in your life here. However, there is still something that's pulling you back, because it's not free for you yet just to go forwards just yet. But it's almost like you're being asked here to take on mastery of yourself. Because in your numbers here, your life path is a 268. So your 2 is about trying to find a balance in life out there. Yes, brilliant. Sometimes here, just be careful that you're not giving too much power away to other people. Your 6 is interesting because that is about business. That is about looking whole picture, being the organizer, being the person who can reframe everything around you. But then the big one comes up here. It's the 8. Your number 8 here. Chinese, when they put the 8 on the side, as a symbol of infinity. Also, the Chinese love the number 8 as they see it as a number of mystery, but also success and power. And so for you, I'd say here, should I focus on work or work come looking for me? I would look first of all here and say, what is it that you want? Once you know what you want, start focusing on it. You may be surprised what comes. You may be surprised, sir. And your green energy here is about really getting down into the deep roots yourself, shifting away all the old stuff you no longer need in your life, and you'll be strong. And there's a very nice gentleman who's here who wants to come through. And Nigel, he really wants to say here that he used to work either in carpentry or he loved doing DIY, but with wood. He loved it. Here. He's telling me here he's a very, very ambidextrous sort of man, very clever with his hands. And he's saying to me here, he says here, would you understand here that you're also thinking, Nigel, about working for yourself? Interesting. Go on. You're going to say something.
All the good stuff.
I don't steal good stuff. There's loads to deal with there. Go on, get on with it.
No, I'm going to agree with you on all of that, Phil. Actually, it was interesting that you said green. And I went straight there to what we were just talking about earlier, and that was being the heart chakra. And I think because with this one, we're looking at some work, aren't we? Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, he wants to focus on work.
What we need to do with our work. And I think at the moment we often fall into that trap where we think it's a good idea, we should do that. My mate reckons I should be a bricklayer, so I'm going to be a bricklayer, and then I'll fall in love with it. And we just talked about it. No, you won't. You've got to make the decision, what would I love to do, and then use that brain to make it happen. Yeah. I actually think what he needs to be looking at and what is going to come his way is for now, not forever, because I actually think there's some study or some new learning here that he'll actually look at. And something to do with his driver's license as well, or his license, or deliveries or something like that. But just remembering what is coming in next is for now, not forever. It's going to change. I think it's about 18 months time. I did see here his birthday, and I just had to say must be a very unique human being. I can tell you that anyone born that birthday must be pretty special.
Is that because you're...
And an Aries, what are they worried about?
Yes.
And Aries, everyone's going to make sure that they're going to work hard. They're going to be loyal, maybe too loyal to their job and to the people around them.
Hmm.
And for this, I go, no, follow your heart. What is it that you want to do? And if you don't want control of that, then yes, let the universe bring in whatever. But I think actually Nigel going, what is it that I really want? Put out that intent, and then using his heart though
I think
to
so
make that
too.
decision.
I think so too. Yes. I think that's the big thing about what your intention is, Nigel. I think that's the biggest thing. Brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Okay, we're both shuffling cards here. Right, I'll probably do it a bit different way to you. So I'll do my way here.
You'll be old school, won't you, Phil?
Do what, sorry?
You'll be old school, won't you, Phil?
Old school. I'm the wise school.
Wise. That's the word I was looking for. Wise.
Yes. Now, my cards here say that you'll be offered 2 jobs there, Nigel. 2 jobs here. The jobs will be Pisces Ascendant as well. Hey, Nigel, fantastic, fantastic. Hey, snap, buddy. I'm Pisces Ascendant too. So, Aries Sun, Pisces Ascendant. That's very interesting. So there's a huge intuition there. Huge intuition, and I think that's interesting. Now, one of the things that comes up here is I think, Nigel, you're going to be offered 2 particular types of jobs. Both of them won't be right financially, and both of them won't be right. And I think what's interesting, what you're saying there too, I think, Raven, is the fact here that anything you get offered immediately probably will be short term rather than long term.
Yeah, for now, forever.
It's what you're going to do for yourself, sir. Is what you're going to do for yourself. That's going to come up super strong. You're interested in photography somewhere as well, I believe. And you've got many interests out there, so fantastic, fantastic. And I'll let you do the rest.
Oh, do I get a turn now?
The turn. There's a bit of tit for tat going on here.
I could just see his photo. This just popped up, and I thought, oh, very creative. Lacks maybe a little bit of self-confidence there. Presents very well. I'm sure if I asked Nigel if he was well and having a good day, he's going to say yes. But I think under that, maybe a little bit of lack of self-confidence. But creativity, very important. And just remember, Nigel, it's not that everybody's slow. It's just that you move quite quickly. Let's have a look at these cards. I'm just going to turn 3 really quick to see the outcome here. Oh, look, I don't mind this at all. It's interesting, though. I do have an emotional loss card here. Now, hang on. Where's my camera?
That's it. You're that way a bit. That way a bit. That's it. That way. Stop.
We get there in the end.
This is hilarious.
But this one here is also, Nigel, I'd be a bit worried about the people around you, too. I think there's someone around you. Now, this can happen particularly with Aries or just anyone, really. When we're generous people, we're a bit like bears to honey for users. So just watching here that maybe there's a few people that you need to stop giving emotion out to. Stop and start giving it to yourself. Focus on you and where you need to go, because there is a light at the end of the tunnel. It is coming for you. Now, what's brilliant about this card is when you get this new job that is going to come in, and I think Phil's right, maybe that first job that comes in may not be the forever job, but just enjoying the light a little minute. It's quite often what's the light at your end of your tunnel? You get there and then you already get the next light. And it's like, just sit in that light for a minute. And also, this is triumph. So this is coming through the battle. You're going to be just fine. I don't think you have any problems.
No.
But just remember, it isn't forever. It's just for now. And then follow your dreams. Listen to your heart.
Brilliant. Good.
Side.
Brilliant. Fantastic. Now, Nigel, I think you got a bit of a cracking insight there, so I hope you enjoyed that. And just to run to very nice lady here. Yes, there you go. Very nice lady here. Sandra Park says shared. Guys, this is what we'd like you to do. Can you press the share button as you're watching this show? Because this show is free. This show is free. There's no fee to this, but we just ask you to share it so your friends can see that cafe networking is out there, and cafe clairvoyance, and even cafe networking is a good place. Delia says. So we've got 2 sites there, cafe networking, and why not join the group, as it says down over there. Join the cafe clairvoyance group. Okay, we are now going to go and look for Corrine, and let's go and have a look for her and see what comes up here. So Corrine, very, very good morning to you, good evening to you, wherever you are in this wonderful world. And she was actually asking here, should she actually follow, should she actually chase a particular guy? Now, you already said here that you felt that you knew the answer to this, but actually looking at her numbers, what I would like to say here is Corrine, you're a number 11. You're number 11 in numerology. You're here as a very special soul. And I would actually say here too, you're a 2-9-11. The 2, you've got a karmic experience here going on. This life here is not a life to be dismissed. This is a life here to be taken as a treasure. Because the 2 here is about uniting with souls around you and also past life souls. And your 9 here is the giveaway to this, because it's endings and beginnings, and it's a journeys you've been taking in your life. And your heart number being the 9 is beautiful. It really is beautiful. And I think what's important here is what's the element here, I'd say, Corinne, and is maybe one thing to go and look at in your life now is saying here, rather than you chasing guys, anything like this here, hey, Corinne, let them come and find you. Let them come and find you. Your personal year is a 3. This is all about why focus on one guy. How many guys are there out in, I believe you're out in Australia. How many guys are out there? It's thousands, whether they're short, tall,
millions on a good day.
millions. But even some of the other things I'd say here is to say to you that you've got the trinity of 3. You got you've got communication and people, and you've got the higher consciousness. You're looking for that person who makes that trinity with you. And once you got that, you'll be very, very happy. In fact, you'll be very happy with a gentleman who comes into your life by about March next year. March, it sounds like ages away. It's not. Time flies. And but you'll be exceptionally happy.
4 or 5 months.
That's right. And I think you'll be more than happy. Yes. Okay, good. So I'd like to pass you over to you. What would you like to say there, just down the road there, just down the road, round the corner, round the bend in Brisbane? What would you like to say?
Around the bend. To Corinne, I actually think we have to be careful here of what we wish for. Sometimes we really want somebody, or we want them to be part of our world, and we want them to come over or come in or become part of it, and they step forward and we panic and we pull back, and then this person doesn't know what's going on, and then this person's disconnected, and then we have to come back together again. And I see that often. It's like that fear of almost, I don't want to say success because we're talking about relationships, but when you want someone and you've been thinking about somebody and it's a craving, and then all of a sudden it's in front of you and the reality's there, and you don't want to take the risk because we're betting our hearts.
It's like dancing.
And I think nobody kind of gets down to that point where, and especially as we start getting older, we've all got baggage, we've all got issues, but it's about going, God, I wanted it, but now it's real. Now it's in front of me. And I think sometimes then it'll pull back. And I think for Corinne, if she commits to this and what she wants, she can have it. Also, the color purple that I saw here, looking for some clarity in that third eye. I think Corinne knows she can see this and she can see it coming in and happening. But you've also got to put yourself out there, and that can be quite difficult too. But I quite like this for her, and I think something will come of it. I do agree with your March next year. I think that's a good time for this, but I think just like you said with that Trinity there, be careful what you wish for. You just might get it.
I think that's a lovely little chat there. I think that was beautiful. Yes, Corinne, actually looking at your cards. Oh my goodness. I tell you what, you've got all that energy about you, and you're worried. You're worried thinking, oh my goodness, I've got what as you say, a little bit got what you wanted. I mean, look at this. This is a sun card about victory, about feeling, yes, I'm getting there. Then you've got this independent lady here that, which is you as well, saying, oh, this is fantastic. I want someone who can understand me, communicate with me. But then we've got this block. Now, the block is not about the relationship. The block is about you. Because of your past relationships. This is you to let go of past stuff. That's your 9 energy. You're very good at this. You're very good at letting go of the past, seeing it, rising above it, and learning. It's your chance to learn now. And you've got a time here up to about March. I think you'll be reflecting on this and actually saying, my goodness, this is the stuff I'm feeling is not about this relationship. It's about the past.
I'm going to agree with you again. Do you know what's going
on
here tonight?
My God, this is good.
I'm so surprised now, Phil. So this one here is saying the heart chakra card, and that came up straight away. All right, so I know this heart thing, we've got that's there for the taking if you'd like it. What I think we do need to focus on is a couple of cards that I have here. This one here is financial and material changes. Sometimes we've got we all want to have partners, we want to have love in our life, and we all want that. But that to me has a lot to do with the universe. You've got to kind of sometimes let the universe work that out for you. But what we can control is homework, money, and security. And I think, Corinne, at the moment, it's like, let the love thing play out. And yes, answer their messages and you know, be kind. But right now, these cards are showing me with these two here, you really need to just get back on the homework, money, and security. Get that sorted out. What do you want from your jobs? What do you want in your bank? What do you want from your home? Because you actually have new learning here. Now, this is the solitude card. It's not about loneliness. It's about being not selfish. I'd rather say self-full. You know, do you want to go into a relationship where you're worried, you hate your job, and you know, maybe your self-confidence isn't where it should be, and maybe, you know, things aren't as well as they can be with you? Don't we want to be at our best when we go into a relationship so that we can put our best foot forward? And I think that's what we need to do. So maybe sorting out homework, money, and security is a bigger priority right now.
Okay. Brilliant. Corinne, I hope you enjoyed that, and thank you for coming onto the show and sharing your questions there. And right, let's move. Sorry, what did you say just then?
I said thank you.
That's very nice of you.
I know. Hear me being nice
of you.
and all.
It's very nice. How fancy doing a Cafe Clairvoyance show with 2 cardinal signs? Dear.
You invited
anyway. Sorry?
You invited me.
Yeah, and you accepted. Anyway, so let's. Oh, love it. Okay, let's go down the road. To speak to a lovely lady called Maria. Maria. And very good morning to you. Yes, I know you're good morning because you're over this side of the pond, over than the other side of the pond. So, yes. And, okay, so as working your numbers here, now it's interesting here, the amount of 11s or power people coming into their lives at the moment, because this is interesting, very, very interesting. I'm actually seeing here that you're 2911 as well. This is fascinating. So there's obviously an energy around us at the moment, which is creating this need to find balance. And your question is not so much about relationships, it's more about, will I be moving? And well, as I look at and you also gone for the color pink. That's interesting. Very interesting. One of the things I'd like to say here, as I look at your energies here, Maria, is that I'd say it's almost here. There's going to be yes, but, and no, but. Sounds like Little Britain. You remember that show, Down Under? Okay, yes, but, no, but. And yes, there's a yes, you could move, but there's a no. Do I want to? So it looks like it's got its little complications. And I would say here that one with frame here is to look at is what direction shouts to you. What direction shouts to you as being wisdom? Where's the wisdom in this? What makes you look at this and go, this is right. This is what I really want. Because this is what's going to be coming up into your life here. And it's going to be, you're going to work through this thinking here, okay, are you, if you were to move away from where you are, would that be the right move because you want to? You really want to? Or is it because other people are pulling you somewhere? This is interesting, very interesting times here. So I think to be very wise to really look at this almost like the third person rather than being too involved here. It's quite possible that one of the reasons why you want to be moving is because of relationships and emotions and relationships. And I would say here, just be a little bit on the careful side where we're doing this, a little bit on the careful side. It's interesting here too because you still come up with an 11 year, so you've got a life path of 11, and you've also got a personal year 11, and that's interesting because you're working as the healer. It's very much about your working as the healer here. Be careful that you're not there giving to everybody else when it should be. There should be an absolute infinite balance in your life here, I would say. And it's interesting energies here, but I can really feel from you that you're saying yes, but no, and no, but yes. So there really is the seesaw on this, and it's what's your heart and what's wise. And because your 9 in this is going to be very interesting. Your 9 energy is about the wisdom. Looking at this is okay, what is it that's really right and honest for me? You're very quiet over there, down in Brisbane. I'll pass over to you.
You can complaining about the silence, Phil. What do you
No,
want? What do you
no.
want from
Oh,
me?
don't go on. Anyway, right.
All right, no, I'm on this. I was listening because I thought everything you said was very, very good. I'm going to be just straight with this one. I don't think you'll be looking at a move until September 2021. It'll be a smaller place, and if I was to look at a map, I'm going up. So I don't know whether you're going up towards family or you're going up that way. I think you're right. There's healing there, but it's self-healing. And also, when you do this move, please check on the public transport or check how you're going to get about, because I think that's going to be important as well, because your mobility is going to change. So how you can get around. So I think that one, but just going up and up the map, so I'm not quite sure what map that is, because I'm so used to assuming it's going to be Australia. But for this one, smaller home, but near some family, or there's a pool there that there's people I want to go to. So maybe not so much the place, but the people. But I think it'll be September next year. Yeah, I think it'll be good. When I've already turned cards, so I'm going to beat you to it.
That's all right. You can far away.
Thanks.
That's
You've
right.
been through a bit of a battle here. It's interesting with this Triumph card, and I'm still not quite used to what my camera's doing. But with this one, it says that for a while you've been going through a big battle. Okay, and what we do sometimes is we go through this battle and we're on our horse and we've got all our armor up. I can't figure out this. We've got all our armor on. We're coming through a battle, and you've been through the battle, but sometimes we forget to get off the horse. You know, we're looking for the next battle. It's got to be difficult. It's got to be hard, hasn't it? Everything I do has got to be hard. And it's like, no, it doesn't. Just because one thing was a battle doesn't mean moving the next time has to be a battle. So just relaxing a little bit. It does tell me financially she's been a little bit just a bit of a boat on the water, just kind of going with the flow, going with the tide. But she does need to take a little bit more direction with her money first. So getting that plan, so putting her sail up and deciding where that ship is sailing to instead of just letting it go on the currents. Now, this is a little bit like the Fool card in Tarot. This is my wisdom card. And this is saying here, sometimes you've got to take that leap of faith and just trust that the net's going to appear and that it's going to be okay. Have a look at what your problems are now. And where, you know, do you like where you are? And obviously you've talked about wanting to move here. Will you be moving soon? I don't think it will be now, but I do think by next September. You'll have to wait this out a little bit.
Very,
but not
very
in a bad
interesting.
way.
Very interesting. Very interesting. And it's interesting what you're saying there about the move around September and having to work on things now. Very interesting here, because we're very divided in the way we look at things by the Chariot reversed, and the Page of Wands is also reversed. And it's looking at things as the positive. The needing to look into the positive. If we look into the positive, then we won't see it as negative. So though we're on the seesaw, this 9 energy, wondering is a yes but no but, yes but no but. And so you've got to work through things a little bit here. And it's true. And you got the Devil card here is never about looking at things as like it's a bad energy. No, it's about working through yourself, working through your own thoughts, feelings, expressions, anxieties, and releasing them, dealing with them, facing them, and then you'll move. Yes, I like that September. I like that September feel. And I think, and also one of the things I think is going to be a great balance to you, Maria, is your work. You'll go to where work is, and that's going to be the strong point for you. That's gonna help you. Yes.
And maybe that's where that transport comes into play too. When I talked about mobility, maybe we're not going to have the car, or maybe we'd like to be able to walk to work, or maybe we'd like to be able to just catch a train or a bus and not have to get in and drive, because I don't, for some reason, feel like a car will be available or that we'll be using it.
Okay, very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, brilliant. Brilliant. Right, we're going to do a little bit of this, and then we're going to come back and do some more readings there. I'm just looking for my bit, and no, it's disappeared off my screen, so I won't be doing that. We'll be going straight on now to the next reading, which is Delia. Delia, hello, good morning, or good evening, Delia. You're down there in the... just looking for you. There you are. There. That's it. Good. Dear, very good morning to you. Hope you're well out there. And right, the question is, will I be happy in my new suburb? Delia is in the hood.
In the hood.
She's in the hood.
Yo, what up, yo?
Yeah.
Go
She says, hello, you two. Okay, Delia's in the hood. It says, will it be having you want the colour orange? Well, interesting here, for the hood to be right for you is very interesting, because it's got to be somewhere that you relate to. It's got to have something that's got to have wow to it. It's got to have an energy of like, I've got to be doing this and I can go and do that. And then they've got this meeting and that group and this is going to go on and that's going to go on. Because orange is one of those ambitious, lively, motivational energies. I love orange. I mean, your nature here as well. Very interesting. You're very spiritual, exceptionally spiritual, more spiritual sometimes than what you know. You've got a 3 card, you've got a 3 energy here in your life path. The 3 here is about the Trinity, communication with people, uniting people, bringing people together. The 4 energy says here, this is great, but you also need a solid base. And it's important that you have that, because without that here, that energy of the 3 just runs reckless, unfortunately. Anyway, but the 4 energy, if you've got that base, that security around you, where you've got practicality, logic, reality, structure, if another word to put this in here, which is forming a base to that 3, then you are in your element energy of your 7. You're in a personal year 4 as well. So it is about stability. Finding someone who says, maybe this is a place now you want to call your forever home, because your 4 is very strong about planting roots, being like the tree and the roots spreading into the ground, going deeper and deeper to feel this is where I want to be. And your 7 energy with this, which is your natural energy, is with that 4 energy of this year. That's interesting because it's about making that feeling of like, need to feel secure. And the house is number 16, a 167. 167 numerology here. So that works with you. Works beautifully with you. And I think if you're in a place there like that, then I think then it's great. I got to say here, people around you, and I do not mean to be offensive this one little bit, because I'm not being offensive at all. Some people will love you to bits and some people won't. But I think you're going to find that wherever you go. And the ones that love you will love you till the cows come home. The ones that don't. But don't worry about that. But I think here just you'll be fine. I can imagine it's a little bit like this, where you're. I'm just looking for my. Oh, I can't find. Oh, here it is. Yes, it's a little bit like this in your household. Is it very chance? Is it very chance like that? It could be. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, I'll pass you down the road.
I'll take that now. I actually think the orange is quite interesting. As you were talking, Phil, I thought I would pick out 3 cards for Delia. And interesting enough, the first card I turn is the sacral chakra, and it's the orange card. For me, orange representing, the fire in our belly, our how we see our relationships, our creativity, our sexuality, where we're moving forward, the things that we want to do, all of those things important with that sacral chakra. I do believe the home that she's in at the moment, or that she's just moved into, is that stepping stone. But it is going to bring the security that she's been looking for, not just for her, but I think for her. I think there might be, a couple of children there, or one child there, and I think it's going to bring in that security as well. But remembering, again, I know I said this earlier, with one of the readings, this is that for now home, not your forever home, and enjoy it. But this second card here is rest and rejuvenate. What are you doing that you love? Now you turn an orange sacral chakra card, which is all about your fire in your belly, your passions. So if home is secure and the house that you're in is going to provide you with what you need, then, and it doesn't need work and it doesn't need fixing and it doesn't need renovating, then what are you doing that you love? What are you doing to recharge your batteries? And everyone's unique with that. Might be reading a book, might be binging on Netflix for 12 hours, might be going horse riding, it could be drawing a picture. But what do you do that you love? Because sometimes when we're only looking for work for our passions or our home, and neither can provide those for us in that moment in time, we need to be looking outside of that to rejuvenate those batteries. Okay, so I think this house gives her the opportunity to be able to do that. The waiting game is over here, and that's his last card for me. And that's all about just, you've been cutting the same lats for quite some time now. You may do for a little bit longer, but the sands of time here are actually going to start growing things. So you will see that this was a good opportunity and that it will bring you more. But really, this home gives you the opportunity to do what you love and have a bit of a break. And I think we can all agree we could all do with that right now and heading into next year. We're all a bit emotionally and physically just exhausted. And that's not because I'm intuitive, that's because we're all living through 2020.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Now, it's interesting here. It's interesting you just come up with this question, because I can see it straight away looking through the cards. Is I need work change. Well, that's what's coming up, because you're not going to stay in the same job. You're going to move on. I can see there's a little bit of a, okay, I need change now, to I move on to a completely different job altogether. Wondering where you're going, but actually you're going to be guided by instinct here, which I think is a very big thing for you. And it's going to be, it's interesting to say about the forever home, because I'd just like to spend a minute on this. I don't think a fixed home will ever be a forever home. And that sounds like, oh no, this sounds disaster. No, it isn't. There's going to be a second home that will be your forever home. And it's somewhere that you'll visit from time to time. For instance, should it be a holiday place, a place on an island, a place near the sea? It's not somewhere that you would look at and think here that you can live all the time because of where it is, but there will be this place. That's going to be your forever home. That's going to be the place you're thinking, now I'm going home. Everywhere you live, it's almost as though, she says the UK, not yet, not yet, no. Not yet. I'll tell border control. No, but I think here that now I think you've still got a few more minutes there. So sorry if you're a little while there before you come back to the UK. I think here there's some opportunities which are going to come up. Wonderful, brilliant. Okay, let's go. This is what I was going to do. This. Okay. Let's go and speak to a very nice lady called Cheryl. Orange, general reading, please. Now, I haven't got her details here. No, I haven't got her details here for numerology, so I just need to just take this from the top. General reading, orange. Now, if I go for orange with you, I would like to say, now, it's interesting here because although you're saying orange, I've got orange and pink combined. And if I'm looking at aura energy like this, what I'm picking up here for you, Cheryl, is there's this energy around you, which is both loving, which is the pink, and a feeling of like, oh, this is nice. You know, it's like sat next to a nice warm fire with friends, and you're toasting those nut things. What do you call them? Hazelnuts, wherever it is. Chestnuts.
You're telling the story.
Yeah, I'm telling a story. I'm trying to, but it's going wrong. Anyway, it's totally tested. And you got that nice ambient feel around you. Do you know what? I've got that feeling coming up for you. Orange here sometimes says here, this is like, whoa, exhaustion of energy. Just be careful. The pink here I'm picking up with this here is just like, hey, you need a bit of peace, calmness, loving, kindness. People in your life around you make you feel good about yourself. That's the big stuff. Go on, I'll let you go.
I was just thinking I should have listened a little more to the last sentence that you just said.
Okay,
I'll just do a
rewind. I'll just do a rewind. Anyway.
How does it go?
Sorry.
I'll push the button again.
Anyway, sorry. So the energy around you, I think, at the moment, Cheryl, is about finding that little bit. I need to have friendships, love, support, people around you. Your focus here is about just at the moment having that need of people. The orange is like, whoa, it's out there. It's like casting a net. It's like casting a net out wide. And sometimes here, rather than being just focusing on a couple of things, it's almost like we're trying to do too much. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to you, Cheryl? And that's what I see at the moment. And also something about cars coming up. There's something about a change of cars. And a little bit of money is going to be spent, but it's a few more directions that come out, which you would have thought may not be working. But I'll let you go now. Go on then, off you go.
My turn. Okay. So,
yes. It's wonderful bossing around an Arian.
That's what. Oh, that's why. Enough now. That's why I was listening, and then I got distracted. But I did turn cards, and these cards are a little bit interesting for me. I'm going to maybe contradict that a little bit. Actually, there's some decisions around you at the moment, and we said it was Cheryl, didn't we? And the orange. You need to actually take the emotion out and do what's smart. Now, sometimes when that orange is there, we're very passionate about things, and maybe we could be a bit pissed off about something, or stuff's going on, and we need to take the emotion out and do what's smart. What would you tell your best friend to do in the situation you're in right now? Because it's very, very important that you speak your truth. All right, you've turned a throat chakra card here as well, which is blue, and that's saying here, what is it that you really want, your willpower, your strength, because our throat chakra, that's when we say what we're going to do, so when we action things as well. So I think for her, just taking the emotion out, whether it be guilt, whether it be fear, whether it be worry, what is it that you really want? And then that orange sacral chakra came up as your third card, and that's all about then go ahead and do it. Do what you love. Find your passions again. But I think you're right. Pick out the people that are true to you and the ones that aren't. But take the emotion out. Sometimes we feel so guilty because we don't want to be someone's friend anymore, or we don't want to have coffee with them that day. And it's perfectly okay to not want to see someone, or we feel like we have to stay friends with people forever because we're terrible if we don't. And it's like, no, what is it, 5 people you'll take through an entire lifetime? But just because someone moves on or you decide to move in a different direction doesn't mean you're a terrible person. So take the emotion out, do what's smart, stop feeling so guilty, and stop worrying about the fear.
All about
what you got in your pocket there, Phil?
Do what, sorry?
So what you got in your pocket there?
I've got an emperor. I've got an emperor in my pockets. There you go.
Yep.
Anyway, so this is about security around you, keeping that security, keeping that strength there. I think it's about doing what you want to do, but I really do feel that pink around you is a beautiful energy. So she says, so true, so true. Right, time has flown by, ladies and gentlemen. I know loads of you want to read us this morning, but we'll be back. We're back. We'll put a yes, she says, and brilliant. Yes, we'll put an announcement up there. It'll be on another Tuesday. And but guys, I'm on the live tonight at 8 o'clock tonight. I'm joined by wonderful Taryn Sandbrook doing the Moon and the Heart. And Raven, I think this has been absolutely fabulous. A wonderful experience joining with you.
Time.
We've had a wonderful time, and I think here that. It was quite, how can I say, quite an enlightening, competitive show. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah,
absolutely hilarious. It's fun, very, very good fun. So, David, thank you very, very much for being my guest and for working with me this morning. It's been an absolute pleasure with you. Guys, thank you very much for joining us out there. It's been wonderful you seeing us too, joining with us there.
Thank you, everybody.
Ah, lovely, lovely, lovely. And we would like to say a big thank you to see you guys soon, very, very soon. And yes, have a lovely, lovely day, morning or evening, wherever you are. Raven, take care.
Bye.
Bye.